Hello, everyone. Today is part two of the B-17 interior, trying to do a full interior compared to the book uh, from Bill Yinney on the building of the B-17. I'm viewing from factory photos before delivery or at delivery, before they got sent to modification plants or overseas, to give you an idea of what they look like when they left the factory. So if we zoom in here to the nose, I tried to add as much detail as I could. I used some placards from Kit's World. There are these ones for the B-17. This is for B-17F or G, which was not too bad. Some of them are kind of squished, and they don't look that good. But I have one for a B-17F, and it came out pretty much perfect. Much better quality, much better registry of the 3D print. So the B-17F one was in real good shape. The two B-17Gs were usable for small plaques, but for large placards, they look pretty much squashed. They were $19. I figured they were a good thing. I was going to go back and get some more, but they've sort of disappeared, and nobody seems to have them. And everybody that does have them has jacked the price from $19 to $24 up to $59. So tried to see if they're going to come out with another issue of them or whatever, but we'll just have to wait and see. But as you can tell on some of the detail in there, especially like for the bombardier control panel and above the seat, or the flight suit heaters, and some of the other placards on some of the smaller pieces I got added. I know that the med kit there on the wall, the Red Cross, right now at the moment it's just some red tape. I'm going to have to fix that later on. But so far so good. I've got a lot of detail added to the front there, and hopefully it will. I will add more as I go on and able to find the parts. Underneath the side window for the machine gun mount, there is, I'm doing a 120, a Boeing 120 block. And that's the one I picked because it only has green interior for the pilot's compartment, and all the rest of the aircraft was just a silver inside. By the 115 still had the green in the nose and the green in the radio compartment, but at 120 that was all left out, that padding and that color, and it was just bare metal. So that's what I'm doing, is a 120. And like I said, there's a lot of difference between once they left the factory and they got to maybe the upgrade centers here in the United States. Some things were moved around and switched. Others were changed once they got into the bomb groups, and they placed things where they figured they went the best. Because as you look at the wartime pictures, it's a lot different than what they were when they left the factory. So there's the nose compartment. I'll move in a little bit more. That light green there by the a machine gun window is nothing but tape holding the nose on from the outside. But there's some of the detail. And then in the backside bulkhead, I got some small placards added for the fuse panels. And then below the door there was two controls. I don't know what they were for, but I tracked them down. I have a set of Edward cockpit panels, and they show them there, and I found the ones on the placards. and use those instead. But there's more detail to add there. And then in the seats, I got some 2 millimeter thick EVA foam panels, and I cut them out to fit the seats and then painted them a different color yellow to match more towards the oxygen bottles. And got all the oxygen bottles underneath the flight deck. From what I could tell, the flight deck was all green. The upper deck underneath the pilot seats was metal, and the floor, to me, in some of the B-17s looked like metal panels, but I believe almost all of them were plywood. And the plywood in the factory was so uniform, so nice looking. There wasn't a lot of paneling grain or anything like that. Now, once it got into combat area and going up to the 24,000 feet and freezing and coming back down in temperatures, it may have brought out more panel lines. I don't know, but it doesn't seem to be that way in the factory photos. See if I can get some. There we go. And then for the control panel, I just got a paper placard in there with the controls that I found off of one of the sets. I haven't put the 3D print or the photo etched control panel for the cockpit in yet. Don't know which one I want to use so far. Bombay, haven't done much to it just yet. Got a lot of stuff to add and detail paintings and placards to put in there. For the radio compartment, I've got all the stuff in there that I could find in the pictures on the pilot's side. There toward the bottom is the suit heater controls, and then the three, those are actually gray boxes, not black. Those are placed the best I could, whether the kit's made and stuff like that. So the spacing that's in the kit for the panel for the ribs is not to scale as what was on the real aircraft. So take it from there. These things just didn't add up. And then directly behind for the ball turret, got the stand and that stuff in there. And then for the waist section, come on camera, focus. I've got some of the placards in there, the oxygen bottle. I put the two armor plates in, and then the large ammo boxes. In the kit, it shows them on the other side of the waist window towards the cockpit, but in the pictures for the book that shows them at the factory, they were placed on the other side toward the tail, so that's where I placed them. And then I have the walkways with the black non-skid and the putt-putt unit for auxiliary power. And then when you get back to the tail, I've got those in there. Also too, on these, the one side of all the ammo boxes that's in the complete kit is not full, it's just open. So I added some sheet plastic and painted them up to look like a complete ammunition box. I've still got the placards and stuff to put in there, and get it finished out for like the heater controls, the oxygen bottles, the other control panels that are in there. Let me zoom out a little bit. And then for the opposite side of the nose compartment, I've got the placement of things in there for a 120 as they were from the factory. I've got this part of the top fuselage in there to hold this thing up so you can see some of the detail. But anyway, there's to the far right, the black part is the drift control. Then you have 3 oxygen bottles. Then you have the, down at the bottom you have the suit warmer, and then you have the oxygen. And then that light green panel right underneath the gun window is some kind of control panel, but that was in the placard set, so I put that on there. It's also in the Edward set. I use the Edward set because it shows where everything goes, kind of, and then comparing it to the pictures of how they left the factory is where I put the final placement on them. The placards behind the seat control, or the suit heaters, I made with some plastic stock, and because they're not in the kit, so I had to add those by hand. I did them up here, and that one too is by hand. Placed it there. I'm going to have to trim it a bit because it didn't intrude into the gun window, so I'm going to have to place it a little bit better or trim it down. The chart there is placed as best I could compared to the pictures. And then at the top there, next to the right, you'll see a tan panel. That was a wood or a thick paper folder that they would put information strips or data sheets into, there toward the top next to that chart. And then I was always under the impression the oxygen bottles or the fire extinguishers were red, but they're not. They're actually brass. So, learned that one. And then, like I said, for the wood paneling or the floors that were made out of wood, it looked like it was made out of plywood. It was very highly mixed of wood pulp or something, so there wasn't a lot of wood grain in them at the beginning. And like I said, after combat, going up and down in altitude and freezing and warming up, that may have made the grain in them more pronounced, but new out of the factory, not much. Not much at all. Same way with the doors. They just look like an all light tan surface. So I still have a lot of detail to add, a lot of highlighting of control knobs and a bunch of other stuff, and placing more placards and making some more mounting bases to put them on. I'm going to try to see if I can show you. I have to take the seats out. See if I can zoom in. There you go. So what you see there on the side of the control panels, the side walls of the pilot seat, co-pilot seat area, is all the controls and everything. And that box down at the very bottom was a control panel that I had to add, and then it had a placard on top of it. So to make that in there, and then for all the rest of the stuff. To give you an idea. So anyway, that's the latest update. Hope you liked it. Hope you enjoyed seeing it. I'll update it as I get more done. Thank you for watching. You all have a good day. Talk to you later. Be safe. Bye-bye.